Hello, can anyone hear me?
Yes, we
I want to
can.
make
Hi,
sure we
Felicia.
can. Hi,
We're just
everything
about to
great?
start.
Yep, we're ready to go.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Grant Hummel, an independent director of the company, and I will be chairing today's annual general meeting. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this annual general meeting. Thank you for your attendance. So it has now just gone past noon at Sydney time, and we have a quorum of shareholders present. I declare the meeting open. Today's meeting has been convened in accordance with the Corporations Act. The notice of meeting was lodged with ASX on 23 October 2023, therefore within the required notice period. If there are no objections, I would like to move that the notice be taken as read. Every effort has been made to ensure that this meeting runs smoothly for our shareholders. If we experience any technical or other issues today, my apologies, and a short recess or an adjournment may be required depending on the number of shareholders affected. If this occurs, I will advise accordingly. Before we progress any further, I would like to introduce my fellow directors, Madam Estina Ang, Felicia Gan, Katie Paul, and Peter Tan. Also in attendance is Ms. Lee San Lee, our Financial Controller, and our Company Secretary next to me, Ms. Jade Cook. We'd also like to introduce you to the company's auditors, BDO, represented today by Mr. Steve May, the partner responsible for the company's audit for the 2023 financial year. No written questions were submitted by shareholders for BDO with respect to the conduct of the audit and the auditor's report. However, I'm certain that BDO would be pleased to address any questions shareholders might have during the course of this meeting. I appoint Stacey Spence of Boardroom to act as returning officer and to conduct the poll. Stacey's in the room with me. She's just out of view. Hopefully you can all see today's agenda on your screen for those of you participating online. This meeting is being held as a hybrid meeting to facilitate maximum shareholder participation. The online meeting platform provides an option to our shareholders and proxies to attend in a live webcast of the meeting, ask questions, and submit votes online in real time. May I request all shareholders present at the venue to register at the front desk, if not already registered. Kindly note that your votes will not be taken into consideration if you are not registered at the meeting. You must verify at the registration desk by providing your holder ID number and an identity card. Please ensure to collect the appropriate identity card from the registration desk as per below. The green voting card for all shareholders, proxy holders, representatives who intend to vote at the annual general meeting. The yellow voting card for all shareholders, proxy holders, representatives who have already voted and do not intend to vote or change their vote already cast at the annual general meeting. And the red display card is for visitors only. In terms of voting, all resolutions to be considered at this meeting shall be declared by a poll. For the purpose, may I request all members physically present in person or by proxy and who have not yet voted to kindly fill in the voting. Shareholders in attendance that have already submitted a vote by proxy should note that your votes will already be counted towards the poll. You do not need to lodge another vote unless you wish to change your proxy instruction. If you do wish to change your vote, you can do so by filling and submitting the green voting card. You will need to complete this card in order for your vote to be counted. Completed voting cards will be collected at the end of the meeting and counted by the share registry. For those of you that are attending virtually, you need to have registered your shareholding with our share registry Boardroom. If you haven't already done so, kindly register and log in to enable you to vote at this meeting. Once logged in, votes can be submitted by selecting the voting tab on your screen. This will open a list of the resolutions and your voting options. To vote, select your voting direction from the options displayed on screen. This will prompt your selection to change colour and a confirmation message will appear. To change your vote, simply select another option. Once you have selected your voting option, there is no need to press the submit or send button. Your vote is automatically submitted. If you are a shareholder and wish to cast all your votes for a resolution, please place a mark in either the for, against, or abstain box next to that resolution. Votes includes discretionary votes. These are yours to cast at your discretion. If you wish to cast the discretionary votes, please place a mark in the corresponding for, against, or abstain boxes. If your summary of votes does not have any discretionary votes, you do not need to mark this in the system. Are there any questions online in relation to the voting process?
No, there's no questions.
Thank you. In order to provide you with enough time to vote, I now declare voting open on all resolutions. You can submit your votes at any time. I will give you a warning before I move to close the voting. I would like to highlight that where undirected proxies have been given in favour of the chair, I will be voting those proxies in favour of all resolutions being put to the meeting today. I will disclose proxy votes prior to the vote being taken for each item. These figures will be as at the closing time for receipt of proxies, which was 12 noon on Tuesday, the 21st of November, Sydney time. During the meeting, I will put various resolutions to the meeting, and shareholders can raise questions that relate to the business of those resolutions by raising their green or yellow display card. May I request you to kindly clearly state your name and your capacity, for example, whether you're a shareholder, proxy or representative for a shareholder, before asking your question. Depending on time availability, I will answer the questions raised. Visitors are not permitted to participate in the question and answer session of the meeting. We request members present physically to keep general questions towards the end of the meeting when time has been provided for general Q&A. For those participating virtually, questions can be submitted online at any time during the meeting. Please select the messaging tab, type your question within that Ask a Question box at the top of the screen, and then click the send arrow to ask a question. Please note that while you can submit questions from now on, I will not address them until the relevant time in the meeting. Please also note that your questions may be moderated, or if we receive multiple questions on the same topic, they will be amalgamated. Due to time constraints, we may run out of time to answer all of your questions. All questions should be addressed to me as the chair. I will either deal with the questions personally or ask someone in either the board or the management team who is better placed to respond. We will do our best to answer any questions raised. Once the formal business has been completed, I will then open the floor for some more general questions for 15 minutes. Now moving to the Directors' Review, which will be presented by our CEO, Felicia Gan. Over to you, Felicia.
Thank you, Grant. So, for our end June 2023 report, we have a revenue of 116 million, and we have a net tangible asset per share of 65.8 cents, a gross margin of 21,487,000, a loss of 1.2 million, and a total equity of 55,315,000. Next slide, please. And as you know, the global economy has been very difficult relating to not only apparel, but in consumer goods that had faced inventory issues in the US. We had faced container gardens, port congestions, lack of containers, and inventory was late, very late. Therefore, our customers and the industry are facing inventory issues due to the lateness of the delivery, and they are needed time to resolve that inventory. So we have attached here a few reports from the market that reflects this difficult headwinds due to inventory levels. Next slide, please. And you can see that last year, a lot of our projections fell below because of fears of US recession, holiday sales, and also the customer's wallet going to travel and going into other petrol and inflation and food has led the consumer market for apparel, for electronics and furniture and hard goods very difficult. The US retail sales have fell 1.1% in December, and we've been seeing a decline in our sales in the last FY. Next slide, please. And for last year, most of our projections for our core items have reduced because of the shopping season, reflecting inventory issues, and also higher price for groceries, which I mentioned, and also housing interest rates have increased, so their mortgages have increased. So they have been very cost conscious in spending on consumables. So that's reflecting our drop in sales from COVID. Next slide, please. And then whilst we do have a reduced sales, our core inventory and our core products still remain. It's just that the quantity per style has reduced. But in the midst of trying to enhance our entire operations, we are investing in digital transformation and sustainability, which is really important going forward to make sure that our factories are prepped for the changes in sustainability and the increase in sustainable products within our group. So we have enhanced 3D and virtual showrooms. We are working on factory dashboards due to the start and stop of inventory issues. There is a lot of chase and replenishment. The ability to react is really important. So with the factory dashboards, we are able to react to the market so that our customers can buy closer to the market. In terms of sustainability, we are improving our sustainable products in terms of trends with recycled cotton, regenerative cotton, even pineapple leaf fibers. We are innovating in botanical dyes to make sure that we are able to ride the trends of sustainability and be able to satisfy the consumer appetite for greener and more recyclable products. There's a Synterra collaboration, and I'll talk about it in the slides following this slide. Next slide, please. So in terms of virtual garments, I think this really helps us design faster and let our customers be able to select and adopt styles quicker so we can shorten our buying cycle and again be able to react to speed to the market. It helps to reduce waste, lower our sample costs, and of course ensure that we are able to fit better, and our customers can also use the images to put it on their website for e-com sales. So there are a lot of benefits in investing in 3D, which is the new and latest trend to cut down our speed and cut down our lead time. Next slide, please. This is NextEvo is a company that is based in Singapore. They have come up with pineapple leaf fibers. We have produced fabrics relating to pineapple leaves in order to showcase our R&D and innovation in sustainable products. Next slide. We are also partnering Synterra, and they are a company involving carbon footprint. They have invented biotech innovation that is able to coat on fabrics and absorb carbon footprint. This is an interesting innovation, and we are definitely working on them. And these are photos of their visit to our mill in Maxim in Malaysia. And we have already started our pilot development so that we can showcase carbon absorbing product innovation to our customers. And at the same time, we are working with Browseware on AI technology for design. And that is really very similar to ChatGPT, where you are able to use AI to figure out what are the trends, what's trending on social media, what are the colors, what are the styles, and then design based on that data. Next slide, please. And in terms of our sustainable ability at our own fabric and also garment factory, you can see that with green reporting and be able to record and measure our carbon footprint, you can see the different energy savings of 30%, we have reduced since 2018 cumulatively 2,175 metric tons of reduction of greenhouse gases as a group. In terms of solid waste recycling and reductions, we have reduced 30% of our total waste reductions through our various changes in our processes, and we also have cumulatively reduced 24,000 metric tons of greenhouse gases in the recycling area. On water savings, which is really important, as we operate a fabric mill, we have installed a system of reverse osmosis, so we can recycle 50% of fresh water that can be used in our production. And with our reverse osmosis innovation, we have saved lots of fresh water, and we are able to recycle that back into our production. And on top of that, we have a boiler where we are recycling the steam from the boiler, and we can put that back into our dyeing processes as well. For packaging, we worked really hard with our customers, and we can say that all our packaging are 100% recyclable material. And on packaging, we do save about 29 metric tons of greenhouse gases cumulatively. Next slide. I think that's the last. Thank you. Can I hand it back to you, Grant?
Thank you, Felicia.
Thank you.
We'll now move into the formal business of the meeting. The first item of business of this meeting is consideration of the audited financial statements and related reports for the financial year ended 30 June 2023. There is no formal resolution required for this item. I now open this item for discussion. Shareholders are requested to raise their green or yellow display cards for questions, if any, or to use the virtual meeting platform. Are there any questions or comments online in relation to the financial reports or the reports of the directors and auditors?
There'll be no questions online.
I will now ask the Company Secretary to record that the annual financial report of the company and its controlled entities and the related directors and auditors' reports in respect of the financial year ended 30 June 2023 have been received and considered by shareholders. Thank you. The next item of business, Resolution 1, is a resolution to adopt the company's remuneration report, which is set out in the company's 2023 annual report. The resolution appears on the screen, and I will take it as being read. Also on the screen are the proxy voting statistics on this resolution. I now open this resolution for discussion. Shareholders are requested to raise their green and yellow display cards for questions, if any, or to use the virtual meeting platform. Jade, are there any questions or comments in respect to this item of business from those shareholders online?
There's been no questions on this item of business.
Okay. I formally put this resolution to the meeting. Please cast your vote on the resolution. Thank you. I will now move on to Resolution 2. The next item of business relates to the re-election of Director Ms. Felicia Gan. The resolution appears on the screen, and I will take it as being read. Also appearing on the screen are the proxy voting statistics on the resolution. I now open this resolution for discussion. Shareholders are requested to raise their green, yellow display card for questions, if any, or use the virtual meeting platform. I will now ask the Company Secretary if there have been any questions or comments with respect to this item of business from those shareholders online. Jade, are there any questions?
No, there's been no questions.
No questions online. I formally put this resolution to the meeting. Please cast your vote on the resolution. Thank you. Now that we've gone through the formal business of the meeting, are there any general questions on matters we have presented to this point, or other questions regarding the business of the company that you would like to ask? Shareholders are requested to raise their green, yellow display card for questions, if any, or use the virtual meeting platform. Jade, are there any questions online?
There's been no questions.
So ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the formal items of business. In a couple of minutes, I will close the voting system. Please ensure that you have cast your vote on all resolutions. I will now pause to allow you time to finalise those votes. Thank you, everyone. I will now close the polls. When the voting has been collated, the results will be declared on each resolution, released on the ASX and published on the company's website. This concludes the formal business of today's meeting. Thank you very much for your attendance and participation today. I now declare the annual general meeting closed at 12:20. Yeah.